Senator Rubio has had a strategy. Don't offend. Don't work too hard in any one particular place. Don't be exposed too much. It sounds like he's in the witness protection program. It's time for him to come out, time to get the boy out of the bubble, and time to come out and start fighting for votes.
All right, we've been trying to track down Marco Rubio, but we did get Frank VanderSloot to respond to that. He's a big Marco Rubio donor. His reaction to all of that. Frank, what did you think of what Governor Christie was saying?
Hello, Neil. Thanks for having me on today. Well, I just heard it, and I don't know what appropriate response would be. I think no response. That's how good a candidate Marco Rubio is. That's the most they can come up with, that he's the guy in the bubble. Clearly, he's going to be the target now. I think Jeb Bush spent like $10 million or even more than that in the last 30 days attacking Marco Rubio, and none of it sticks. He's a great candidate. He's going to have a chance to respond to all of those things if he even thinks it's worth responding to. And honestly, that's where I think that one probably is going to land. It's a non-issue.
But, you know, and you're right to point this out. Any candidate who emerges, and Ted Cruz experienced this firsthand in Iowa, you become a target. And all of a sudden, Senator Rubio's better than expected performance is getting a lot of attention and a lot of maybe unwarranted attention. But what do you advise he do? I mean, to ignore it is one thing. To keep, you know, dealing with these slings and arrows is quite another, and look like you are in a bubble. What do you do?
Well, I think he's responding perfectly well, and he's doing the right thing. He's staying on the issues. He's not even going to respond to those kinds of things. At least I'm thinking he won't.
Yeah, but he does in a way,
to...
Frank, right? I mean, he'll point out that, well, look at the New Jersey governor's record. I mean, going negative is always in the eye of the beholder, I know, but it seems like we're going to see more of this stuff.
Well, you're going to see lots of attacks on him. Right. I think he's going to stick with the issues. I think he's going to use whatever airtime he gets to explain where he is.
Right? He'll zing back, right?
He'll defend himself where he thinks that's appropriate. I do not think that we have seen him attacking individuals. I haven't seen it. I don't think anyone has seen that, and I don't expect him to start going now after Chris Christie, for example, or slamming Chris Christie. I think he'll defend his position. He'll explain why he's doing what he's doing. He's really, really good at that. And after he's done, it'll make sense to people. He's a great candidate. I think
he's very smooth. I had a chance to catch up with Iowa at one of his events. He's an impressive young man. I guess what I always wonder about in these type of tit for tats is whether it harms the party longer term, whoever is the nominee, that they're just a bunch of beaten up fighters.
Isn't that the case? I mean, some of these candidates still left in the race. I've heard that some folks now have bowed out as recently as yesterday and today, and that's where this is all going to it's going to coalesce around one individual. I think they fear that's going to be Marco Rubio. It's clearly going to be Marco Rubio, so they're going to attack him.
But what if it isn't? And what if it isn't? And does he need other people to drop out, like even a Jeb Bush to drop out, to sort of close the deal?
Well, I think in the end, Jeb Bush will drop out, and Chris Christie will drop out. I think that you'll see all of them drop out. And eventually, I mean, it depends on how much money they have and how long they want to keep this on.
How does he clear the path to get it over those guys?
Well, as we saw in Iowa on Monday night, Marco Rubio is becoming discovered, and as he starts getting anywhere close to airtime that Donald Trump has gotten, he'll get his point across, and it's going to resonate with the people. People are going to respond to it, and he'll do extremely well.
We'll see. Frank, always a pleasure. Thank you very much, Frank VanderSloot, Marco Rubio donor. That'll do it here. Don't forget New Hampshire.